Yes, Sachin ji, welcome. You're very much
Thank
audible.
you,
Nice
thank
to
you,
have
thank you.
you.
Thank you very much.
I'll just take this privilege of introducing you to our distinguished participants,
Right,
and then we will request you to share your thoughts and a few words from you. Is that
right.
okay?
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it's my absolute privilege on behalf of Sportscom to welcome Sri Sachin.K, Deputy Director, Sports Authority of India. He's currently working as the CEO of the National Boxing Academy in Rohtak. Sachinji is a graduate and Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from the very noted MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. He was a Senior Development Officer for the Target Olympic Podium Scheme and managed athletes like Neeraj Chopra, Bajrang Punia, and many others. Importantly, he played a key role in a high-level committee chaired by the Honorable Minister to review and enhance India's Olympic preparation for Tokyo Olympics 2020. He's also played a role in streamlining the Khelo India Talent Development Scheme, identifying sports talents, accrediting private academies, and managing funding for these academies. He's also part of the General Technical Committee for the Khelo India Games, both Winter Games and the annual sports competitions with 8,000 athletes nationwide. So, Sachinji, we're very privileged to have you here at Sportscom. We are a body dedicated to advocacy and advancing all aspects of sport in its entirety in the nation, working with the government, facilitating with the government, giving the government intellectual throughputs
Right.
from time to time.
Thank you
So,
very much.
and now we would like to hear a bit from you, and then I will leave the floor open for our distinguished members to ask whatever questions they may have in mind.
So, shall I start?
Please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, respected members. It's both an honor and privilege to be invited to address the esteemed members of the Sportscom. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Mr. Jaladani, President of the Sportscom. Right. So we all know that India is at significant juncture of the sporting history, because if you see the recent past, our athletes are bringing laurels to this country in a major competitions like maybe Olympics or uh, Asian Games, Continental Games, or major international championships like World Cups, World Championships. Our athletes are returning back with significant medals. This is not the case earlier. Like previously, what we used to hear is like athletes are like they have gone and they have vanished. We didn't used to notice also, but that's not the case in significant past. Like from at least from a decade or so, our athletes are doing pretty well. This we can contribute or attribute to the developments which has happened in the country post liberalized world, post economic liberalization. India is witnessing a significant economic development. Having seen the economic development, now our community and our government as a whole is focusing on the sporting aspects as well, along with a host of other service related sectors, maybe hospitality services or software services, other things to do to say so. Like we all know, government through its major sporting wing, that is through SAI, is implementing major programs like Target Olympic Podium, Khelo India, Fit India, etc., for the development of sports in the country. So along with this scheme, as we know, Target Olympic Podium Scheme is aimed at providing assistance to the elite athletes who are aiming at target finish at the Olympics. So through this, government is giving custom-made support for the athletes, elite athletes, supporting them for coaching support or their equipment requirement, diet requirement, so on and so forth. Along with this, through Khelo India, the government is fostering for development of culture of sports and excellence of sports in the country. Culture of sports mean to say that the government is developing a lot of programs. Through Khelo India is developing the grassroots level sports ecosystem. by identifying the talent or developing the infrastructure, host of other activities. For achieving striving for excellence, what government is doing is through Khelo India Talent Development Program, it is helping the bench strength of athletes. Like it's giving scholarship, providing training for the athletes through accredited academy, private academies, or through SAI academies. Along with this, government has its own wing, that is Sports Authority of India, through which it is running the National Center of Excellences across India, along with its sports SAI training centers. Through this, government is supporting almost 6 to 8,000 athletes on a daily basis for training facilities. Right. I am working in one of the National Center of Excellence. It is a dedicated center for boxing. We have a host. We are hosting around 200 boxers, and any day around 150 to 160 athletes are training for boxing and for achieving excellence in boxing in our center at Rohtak. In the recently concluded World Championship at Colorado, our boxers came back with medal haul. I must say, we won almost 17 medals out of the 20 medals which were at stake. So out of the 20 boxers who took part in the World Championship, our boxers came back with 17 medals. That's a significant development, and we must appreciate. This is because of the developmental activities that government is taking through SAI. We are giving a custom-made diet to the athletes, all these things. So this not only has happened only just because of the government, because as a community, the India is now looking at sports. Now we need to strive or for bringing laurel to the country. So this is happening. So let's moving on to opportunities which are available for industries per se, or how the industrial sectors can help in developing the or join forces with SAI. I must say one of the major opportunity, I must say, in the sports infrastructure development. Reason why I'm saying sports infrastructure development is because we said we lack, not we don't, rather than saying lack, we don't have much of an infrastructure which require for multiple large game multiple discipline hosting or training practices per se, barring few Sports Authority of India's facilities. We don't have much of infrastructure. So we cannot say that sports infra is, we cannot equate sports infra with any other infra, because sports is a niche structure, a niche discipline. We need a kind of dedication or expertise in developing sports infra. So this is one of the niche areas which the industry can focus on developing or can working upon. Along with this, I would say CSR partnership. CSR partnership is one of the major area which is, most of the industries are working with sports in CSR partnership. Like major foundations like Dani Foundation is tying up with many of the is in tie up with my center only. So that is Sports Authority of India, and so NCI Rohtak. They are helping us in multiple ways, right? They are provided as a foreign expert for training our athletes. In fact, our athletes are witnessing or getting opportunity to train at a multinational camps or multinational training venues in more than ever, because thanks to our CSR partners, we hosted Kazakh and Uzbek boxers, which who are the champions or who are the leading countries for boxing in the world. That could be possible because of the CSR partners. So along with not only Dani Foundation, many other foundations are also working in the sports line. Like Procam was working in collaboration with Sai and Bhopal. It was a middle and long distance academy, which in fact produced very significant results also. It was going good. I don't know the status as of now. I believe it is not in a continuation as of now. Barring that, there was a company called Glenmark, which was working with Sai in collaboration with Sai for developing swimmers at our stadium at Delhi, and also in our Mumbai facility also. Right. So this is one of the major opportunity for the industry's body to tie up with SAI, because everything SAI cannot provide, our government cannot do. So if we join hands, we can provide a lot of opportunity for our budding athletes, which not only can be provided by the government, lot of things can be provided to our athletes and development of sports in a larger way to go. Along not only the providing multinational camp or support in competition exposure, The CSR partners for us is helping and providing resources also. Resource in the sense like of we need trained professionals in domains of, let's say, physiotherapy, or let's say research analyst, or physiologist. All these things can be done, government may not be able to hire, but this is where one area wherein private sector can help in government in collaborative approach. We have been supported through our partners for hiring physiotherapists or equipments which are we are in need of. All these things have been done from our CSR partners. I believe a lot of partners can tie up with SAI for multiple disciplines, like multiple academies. We are 23 National Center of Excellence in the country. So this is the one area where the private sector can join forces with SAI. Barring that, the one another major avenue wherein private sector can focus upon is academics. As we all know, a National Institute of Sports at Patiala is a prominent institution which is working on the academics aspect of the sports in the country. It provides diploma for coaches. If any coach is to be identified or recognized in this country, it's because of it is only through a National Institute of Sports diploma. So because of the limitation and one campus, lot of athletes who are eligible or who are not able to come to Patiala campus, they may not be able to get the diploma. So education institute which are striving for, which are working towards the development of sports management or sports educational courses, can tie forces with or hand with National Institute of Sports Patiala for offering diploma courses. Now a lot of education institutes are working for offering management courses and sports diplomas in physiotherapy and all so on, but not in the education aspect of coaches. That is the curriculum or development, or offering diploma for the athletes who aspire to be coaches. So this is one major avenue where athletes can the industry partners can focus on. Along with this, one other major aspect where in the development of academics per se is LMS, the learning module system. So a lot of educational institutes are already using this for providing remote training facilities, right? So sports, like I said, is a niche subject. So LMS for sports may need different technology or different module per se. So that the industry partners can focus on developing this kind of this one modules or software requirement for the LMS of sports sector per se, which is not there at currently. LMS which is used currently by SAI is also which is available for other institution or other universities, not per se tailor made to the sports sector. Barring one, another major avenue which is available is sports equipment manufacturing. Currently, if you see any athlete, I don't think many prominent athlete being wearing sports shoes or sports apparel of Indian made. Right. We know Shiv Naresh is one brand which is being used by athletes. Shiv Naresh is working in sports sector from very quite a long time. Barring that, we don't see any homegrown kit or homegrown shoes or apparels which is being used by athletes. I was speaking to one of the representative of FDDI's Footwear Design Development Institute, which is an major wing of Ministry of Commerce, which is working for the development of footwear sector in this country. They were also clueless about what are the basic requirement of an athlete for performing at major competitions, right? So this is a lack of this is a big avenue, and it's a definitely a $1 million economy which is awaiting for our Indian industries. See, it's not only India which is a market. Why not an Indian brand which can be a major, like in Europe or America, like Indians using say Nike or Asics or a Puma? Why can't our homegrown brand can be used by say Federer or a Messi? So we wish that in coming future, our Indian brand be used by major athletes across world. So what is needed? We need a basic data set, we need a talent who, we need a, sample size, right, which is definitely available in India. We have a lot of sports persons who are using cheaply available sports shoes, or shoes which are not even, we can say sports shoes, right? Generic shoes is being used by our athletes, especially in the rural areas or tier 2 or tier 3 cities. So Indian industry can focus on footwear development for, which is tailor made for our athletes. Along with the footwear design or footwear industry, where another opportunity awaiting our industry is equipment manufacturing. Like, to take again my own center's example, for example, boxing. Our athletes demand for, say, I believe I can take the brands, right? They will be demanding on a regular basis top 10 or a Sting or say Green Hill. None of these are Indian made gloves, right? We have two major prominent uh, boxing gloves or boxing equipment manufacturers, RXN or USA. However, they are not to that extent being used, or since these Indian indigenous equipments are not used at an international avenues, the athletes prefer their international brands, say top 10 or US Sting, which is being used at international competitions, because that is where it makes difference. So in the Indian industries, not only boxing, in cutting across every discipline. Let's say for athletics, we have multiple opportunities. We speak of the tracks being in hockey or in athletics. None of the Indian industries are there. It's all either Australia or European industries which are dominating the track making or equipment manufacturing. So Indian industries can focus on this aspect, on developing the equipment segment of sports per se. Barring this, another major venue for sporting development is sports science equipments. It is combination of somewhat medical device equipments and sports. It needs expertise in both bio medical sciences, and also the sporting, the what needs in a basic sports culture or sports sector. So the combination of both medical sciences and sports sector knowledge is needed to develop these devices. Let's for example say heart monitor. A heart monitor for an any cardio patient is different, and an athlete is a different. So the heart monitor for an athlete, for example, a sprinter is different, a boxer is different. It may need to be custom made for different athletes from a discipline to discipline. A tailor made equipments may need to be developed. Along with this kind of we have a lot of sports science being used by new generation coaches. Unfortunately, these equipments by and large to be imported. So our industry can focus on developing these kind of equipments in our own country, right? So along with this, like we see lot of data analytic tools which is being developed and used by athletes. Now the athletes have also started using the data analytical tools. Now speaking of data analytical tools, to give a crude example, what we do is any one smartwatch nowadays. So right, the software for everything is not. I don't think any of the industries of Indian industries is using homegrown software for any of the smartwatches. Once again, coming to where is the Indian we are a country which control almost 30% of world software market, but we don't have a sports a software company or a smart software wherein which our athletes can use as an analytical tool just for a sprinter or an athlete. But again, to say, even it is a custom made. An athlete, a boxer's analytical tool may be different, sprinter analytical tool is different, a wrestler analytical tool is different, a swimmer analytical tool is different. So this is another avenue, and definitely the government is also using is spending its fund on lot of athlete monitoring system. These are the lot these all come into segment of analytical tools only. So the industry bodies or industries can look into this as another major avenue, right? I think these are the segments, I think, from my end, which can be focused by the industry sector for developing sports in the country. And of course, in a collaborative approach with SAI can be developed. This is all, I think, from my side. Thank you, Mr. Vivek, for giving me this opportunity to address the members. If anyone has any question, we can discuss, or whatever the
No, no,
chair decides.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Sachin ji, for sharing that. I would request my dear members, if they have any questions, to please directly come in and let's have this as interactive as possible. So I would open the floor to our members. If there's anybody who would like to ask anything of Sachin ji, I think some very valuable insights have come out of him. Yes, I have. Yes, please. Who would like to go first? Mohan, would you like to go first?
Yes, sir. With your permission.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Sachin. So, got a fair idea of what kind of progress we can make with technology. So, we are a company based out of Bangalore. We started off 3 or 4 years back with the intention of getting sports technology into India and, as you mentioned, homegrown software. So, what is the approach? How do we propose or send a proposal? If you can just give us those steps, that will be helpful.
See, we SAI has and Government of India has started an unit called NCSSR, National Council for Sports Science Research and Development, right? Uh, Brigadier Bibu Nayak is heading it. He's working under the overall leadership of DG SAI. So this is what deals with the day-to-day requirement of sports science and sports science development in the country, and inclusive of sports software development per se. If you have any proposal, you can definitely reach out to his office. He usually is seated in IG Stadium, New Delhi, right? You can approach his office. He'll be able to help you out how either collaborative approach or any other mode also. You can reach out to his office. Or in even you can approach Sai regional office at Bangalore also, located at Kengeri, in the
Kengeri, yeah.
university campus, Bangalore University campus, Mysore Road.
Yes, couple of times we have approached, but things didn't progress. So then we set out to develop our own wearable tech and all the analytics, everything we have done. We have even put it on wrestlers and got some validation done. So we want to just go to the next step and
Right.
if we are
So you can approach Dr. Bibu Naik. I think.
okay.
Sorry, you were saying something.
No. Yes. Please go ahead. Yeah, I was just.
Yeah, I was saying maybe see there will be limitations to a regional office because they may not have that kind of a bandwidth which is needed or which is needed to support your organization, right? Since NCSR is an overarching body for developing the sports science in India, you can approach them. Definitely, I think if it is suitable or in whatever way it can be helped, they will be able to help you or give you directions.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan. I see Kolan has put up its hand. So can you please, yes, please, please introduce yourself and come in. Yes.
Sure, sir. Hi, this is Srishti, sir. I'm the
Yes.
founder of Co-Learn Education, and
Yes,
Co-Learn
Srishti.
is a sports education platform
Yes,
where we help people, mostly athletes, become sports analysts, sports commentators, sports journalists, sports scientists, sports social media managers, sports event managers, and cricket umpires. Very recently, like 10 days back, we also got approved by NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. Now our assessments will be taken care by Government of India under the NSDC, vertical. Now my question to sir is, sir, we would like to work with the coaches. We in our cohort we get almost 20%, 10 to 15%, or 20% of the people who come from coaching background. And they want to learn analytics, they want to upskill. But right now we are doing it's mostly B2C, but we want to get in touch with the government and do it. My question is actually similar to the previous question, where what are the steps basically for the education?
See, like I said, no, you can get. See, like I said, you can get in touch with our NIS institute, which is at Patiala, right? National Institute of Sports at Patiala. Uh, in our website also, you'll get the details. You can reach out to the executive director who is in charge of this academic wing, or
Mm,
their deputy director who is the academic in charge. Uh,
mm.
so you can get in touch with them with your proposal, how you would like to collaborate with them, or what is your proposal per se on how to focus on your business development, right? They'll be able to help you out.
Sure.
Even they are looking for even they are looking for various for collaboration with the private sector for expanding the sports academics per se.
Got it, sir. Sir, also under the NSDC, now we are planning to go together with the NSDC members as well as Kolan to all these, I mean, government institutions. So you said that NIS Patiala would be the right way to go ahead.
Yes, because see, it will be a major recognition you'll be able to get in sports sector per se. Right.
Right.
So that would be the better way to approach it. That's what I think
So I
you
should
should.
just cold email, or can I give you a reference as well? I should
Yeah,
just
yeah,
email
definitely you can
them.
do that.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
You can send your proposal to NIS, then you can follow up. Then it can be done, or what can be done, or it can be discussed mutually how to go about, right?
Sure. Sure. Works. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Srishti.
Thank you.
I think Rakesh ji has put up his hand. Rakesh ji, would you like to come in?
Yes, sir. Very good evening to everyone, sir. Uh, I would just like to share something. I mean, I'm the chairman of Stag International, and our brand is present in more than 190 countries worldwide. Our homegrown brand apparels manufactured in my factory, they are used by 60 countries. We are sponsors of 60 nations across the globe, where they are using Stag equipment all through. So we have been continuously discussing about this and at various forums that we need some kind of support from the government to support the Indian brands. I mean, I've been propagating to build India through Indian brands. So brand India can only be built with Indian brands, and we need support from the government for such brands who are already doing so much internationally. So your take on this, sir?
No, definitely, I agree with you. And as far as support from government is concerned, see, Shiv Naresh is getting regular offers. Taika is working with government, with me, not only with SAI, with state governments also. So that can be done. The procurement process is different. You need to participate in the bidding process, all these things. So from that, through that, you can get in to work with the government, and it can be taken forward, right?
So that is one aspect. See, what happens is that supposing if there is a world championship or there's an Olympics, so there is a lot of amount involved if we want to put our product in the Olympics or in the world championship. So I mean, we need to find out what the government can do if we have to put a stack table and a stable in a world championship or in an Olympics. We don't get any
So
support
that
from the
what
government for
happens
that.
is this
Whereas
you need to
companies in
work with the
China,
respective
they get the
federations,
support from the
because
government.
say, this is a larger mandate. This need to be taken up with ministry and IOA per se and the respective federation. Like let's say Stag for TT need to be put up at let's assume in a world championship. This is something which the TT federation has to take up with the respective world organization, right? So through SAI you can coordinate or work with the federation. I believe you are already working with TT federation, so that is something the ministry and SAI can do. At suppose, however, you had to approach at a highest level, at DG level or something at this, or CEO toss per se, it can be taken up and it can be worked upon. That's not an issue, definitely.
So yeah, that's fine. So I just wanted to inform that there are Indian companies who are sponsoring 60 countries worldwide, but very few people know about it. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Rakesh ji.
Yeah, sure.
Anybody else has a question for Sachin ji? Sachinji, you mentioned CSR, which is very interesting because Sportscom has prepared a white paper and submitted it to government that CSR mandate be extended. It's very confining right now, only training, only this, only that. And there is so much money coming into CSR. As you know, only about 1.9 or 2% came into sport. 98% went into health,
Right.
education, women empowerment, etc. We have been requesting the government that a CSR mandate be extended where companies can use CSR funds to sponsor events up to the national level.
Right.
And this would be something that would really give a big platform to our Indian athletes. It would give a platform to the various national sports federations to conduct events in a more professional manner. And it would also give multiple opportunities to compete in a professional environment.
Right. Right.
So we would, I would request the Sportscom
So
Secretariat led by
I
Kavita
would
Kohli.
say uh,
Yes, Sachinji.
I would say government has come up with a new draft sports policy.
Yes.
Am I audible?
You were breaking on my laptop for a bit. You were coming in and out, but please carry on.
Am I audible?
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
do you,
I was
fi-
saying that government has come out with the draft sports policy. Oh, oh.
can everybody hear Sachinji, or is it only my laptop, or is he
I believe
breaking in
now
and
it's
out?
okay.
It was breaking in between,
Yeah, it was breaking, Sachinji.
but now it sounded okay a few seconds
Please
ago.
carry on.
Now is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So, like I was saying, government has come out with a draft sports policy, comments for the sports policy, right? So through, I think in during this or in the finalization of this, the changes, whatever is requested can be put forth and we can push for changing the CSR quota, which is allocated for sports per se. That can be worked upon in coordination with the.
Yeah, Ministry of Commerce will have to step in, but we need the CSR mandate to be loosened a little bit so companies can actually sponsor events from CSR budgets right up to the national level. Sachinji, we've lost you.
Now, I was saying, is it audible now?
Yes,
Sorry.
Sachin. Yes.
Yeah, basically, I was saying that the government has come out with a draft. I believe Sportscom is also working on it. So in
Yes.
that, CSR is also a major part of sports policy which government is envisaging. In that, Sportscom can push for change in the quota or changes whatever requested for CSR allocation, right? Now that industries are interested in working through CSR for sports. So that can be done in the revised sports policies that is being put forth by the government.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any other questions from our participants for Sri Sachinji? He's been very kind with his time. Otherwise, we will let him go. We've been holding on to him for quite some time. Any other questions from our distinguished members? Sachinji, thank you so much for joining us today. Very kind of you. We wish you all the success, and we are here to partner you to take Indian sports to greater heights.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting and thanks for giving this opportunity to address the various industry members. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman, our next speaker, Mr. Sanjeeva Singh, is already with us. Mr. Singh?
Yeah, hi.
He is here. Hi. Thank you
Hey.
very much for joining us. Chairman, over to you, please.
Yes, Sanjeeva ji needs no introduction. He's an Olympian, he's an Arjuna and a Dronacharya awardee in archery. He is also the Indian archery coach, originally from Jharkhand, chief of the Tata Football Academy and in Tata Steel. He has a BE degree, a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Mechanical Engineering from Birla Institute of Technology, Mesra, Ranchi, and a diploma in Business Management from XLRI, Jamshedpur. So, having started off as an amateur archer, Sanjeeva Singh went on to win many laurels for India at various international sports meets. He has served the Tata Group of companies for 36 years and also received the JRD Tata QV Award from the Tata Group. Sanjeeva ji, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Sportscom. We are eager to hear your thoughts, and then I will leave the floor open for our members to interact with you.
Thank you, Vivekji. So kind of you, and thanks to Kavita Madam, because ultimately because of her, I'm here today. So she was very kind enough to allow me to come and meet all of you on a virtual platform. So just to start the ball rolling, I would like to tell you that the entire sports in India is growing through a big phase. You know, there's a lot of maturity coming in. We were toddlers, I think 40 years back, when actually I started archery in 1982 Asian Games. That was the toddler stage of Indian sports. But today we are moving, we are now into the youth. I will not say we are matured, but we are still beginning into the youth stage. So if I look at that, so it's still moving into the maturity phase, still not matured enough. So what has happened in the last 40 years, I would wish to bring to your kind attention that, especially related to archery. So what we did was, over the period, we have been working on 5 pillars. If you look at if you want to make any sport a success in Olympics, you need to work on 5 pillars. Now, the first pillar is obviously infrastructure. You know, therefore, infrastructure was a big problem in India while we had stadiums, we had training centers. But if you look at world-class infrastructure, if you want to win Olympic medal, you got to have world-class infrastructure. And that was something which was lacking till the time NTPC came in, and they came in with us support in the, as we said, with the CSR budget of 120 crores to the Archery of India and to the Government of India, in fact. And through the Government of India, through the NSDF, that is National Sports Development Fund, it went to the SI, and from SI it moved into the AI. So the idea was we created a 5-year roadmap where we were looking at how this 20 crore year on year, which was being given to the Archery of India, how do we spend it? And therefore, we created 5 pillars. The first pillar was infrastructure. We looked at how do we create a national center for excellence. And therefore, at SAI Sonipat, we created the first national center for excellence, where you have a high-performance indoor archery center integrated with sports science. We had an FOP, which is, we could not prepare prior to the Olympics, Paris Olympic. We were very much wanting, you know, 1 year, we really missed out on creating that infrastructure, because that's very, very important. The field of play akin to what is happening at the Olympic, because that actually gives you the psychological advantage which Korea, Japan, China, USA, and others have, because they've already 10 years ahead than us in terms of infrastructure. So that was a missing link which we had, but we have created that now. And just before, in fact, today only I got the final sanction for the FOP. You know, FOP, 1.5 years I've been trying to get that world-class infrastructure. One missing piece was the FOP, which is the field of play. If you look at the Olympics, what you see is you are able to see there when you are shooting, you are able to see yourself on the big screens there. The audience can see you on the screen. The media is there. The voiceover is there. You are able to see. So all of that was one thing which was missing, and that is where we have just got the sanction. In fact, today only the SAI Sonipat has got, which I had been planning for the last 1.5 years. So that was one area which we are looking at. So we have now the infrastructure where we can now train the team to national standard. The second thing which is very, very important is the international circuit, you know. So you had initially, if you look at 40 years back, we were only having 1 to 2 competitions. We were participating in a year. That has gone to now 12 competitions in a year. A big leap from where we were. So what has happened is now we are rubbing shoulders with the world champions. We are rubbing shoulders with the youth champions. And therefore today we are now beating them. Because once you start beating once, you can know that Korea can be beaten again. So like last in the World Cup at China, we beat Korea, but then obviously you need to continue. We now know that we can beat them. So in the Asian Games, we beat Korea. So when in the compound, of course, not in the recurve, but that means we went first time in 41 years. Korea was second to India in the Asian Games. This has never happened in the history of, you know, because for them, this is very important. So that has changed. So that is where things have changed. And now we have started. So with this international circuit coming in, we are now in a place that we are able to do. We are able to perform, and we are able to perform, rub shoulders with the top people, and that is helping us. So that is one thing which has happened. The other thing which has happened is on the domestic circuit. Again, in the domestic circuit, we did not have competition. And that is where the CSR, NTPC helped us. We created from one national championship in a year for a youth. And this thing, now we have 5 NRATs which are happening. So 5 national ranking tournaments. We are having the senior nationals, the junior nationals, the sub-junior nationals. Then we have the open. So therefore, now we are having 12 to 14 competitions. We have every month nearly a competition. So that what has happened because of that? Initially, if you look at Deepika Kumari was unbeaten, Abhishek Verma was unbeaten, Jyoti Sureka was unbeaten. But today, you have people like the armless girl. She's now winning. She's now the world #1. Sheetal Devi. Now you have people like junior world champions coming up. Parth Solanki becoming the junior world champion. You have people in the compound from the Maharashtra. They are now winning. Ojas Deotle became the world champion. Because when in the domestic circuit you are beating Abhishek Verma, you are beating Jyoti Sureka, you are beating other Deepika Kumari or Tanu Das, then the fear is gone. So this is what is happening in the national circuit. Now you're beating international people, your fear is gone. And if you look at the last 3 years, we have created a history, 248 medals in just 3 years, which took us 10 years. What we did in 10 years, we did it exactly 3 years, 248 medals, 3 world champions, the junior world champion, the senior world champions, the 3 world champions we had. We had 101 gold medals in all the World Cups together. Yes, we could not. And finally, if you look at the Paris Olympic also, we were able to win a gold. Harvinder went to win the para and a bronze by the team. And finally, 4th in the able. Yes, in the able, we could have done better. But that is where I said the missing link was the FOP. And I'll talk to you more about what have happened there. So that is the third, when you look at this. Okay, how are you looking? So when I'm talking about this, I'm going to come back to the industry where they come into these pictures. Whether it's infrastructure, international circuit, coming to the domestic circuit. The 4th pillar is about sports science. Sports science, we are 20 years behind. Let us be very, very clear. We are nowhere compared to the world. It has taken me 4 years to convince the government, convince my association that sports science is the only way to win the Olympic medal. Because by a physical prowess, I can come to 98%. The balance 2% is all about sports sciences. How you're able to enhance your psychological, how you're able to enhance your strength, how you're able to enhance your planning. So these are the things which are going to come in. You need to ensure that your physiotherapy is always strength and conditioning, the nutritionists, the psychologists, all are there, which can keep on happening. So, but point is, you have to see that the ecosystem is equally important. Initially, 40 years back, I was there, my coach was there, and the team was done. No. Today, the ecosystem is just like any lawn tennis movement, that you have your strength and conditioning expert, you have a psychologist, you have a physiotherapist, you have a strength and conditioning trainer, you have a nutritionist attached with you. So a physiologist there, an anthropometrist there. So today, sports is not only about you and the coach. The sports is also about the complete ecosystem which is there. So that is really coming in. So now, for the first time in the science center at Sonipat, we are going to get the sports science equipment coming in, which is going to help us enhance the training. This again has come at the fag end of the Olympics. Now, this is where we need to understand. We have to plan properly. Our planning is in shatters, and that's the reason we are missing out. And that is why, because professionalism is not there. Therefore, I'm calling back to the industry. The way industry is going to connect, I'm going to come one by one on each of the pillars, how the industry is going to connect with us. So the planning is a big failure if we are able to procure things in time, because that Make in India concept is not there at all. We are dependent on the foreign players, and the foreign players may take 6 months' time. The tendering process are very huge. Many things are not available on the gem. So all of these are issues because of which we are facing a problem, and therefore we are not getting prepared for the Olympics in time. So that was one part, which is the sports side. The 5th pillar is the Train the Trainers program. The Train the Trainers program is so very, very important today, that because finally one coach touches 100 lives. A senior coach may touch 500 lives. So what is important is, are we educating the coaches? So that is what we have started doing, is that we have started getting the top coaches from abroad, educating the coaches, so that more and more coaches get learning, because this reduces the cycle of learning. When I started archery, it took me 12 years to come to an international standard. Today, we are able to groom archers that they are between 4 to 6 years. It has reduced by 50%. 4 to 6 years. In time to come, this will further reduce. But then that can only reduce when we work on the 10,000 hours of training, which I'm going to talk to you in the next segment. So if you look at these 5 pillars have helped us to enhance the performance of Indian sports. Now, this is not only about archery, this is similarly for all other sports. You need to work on these 5 pillars to make things happen. The 6th pillar, which is not exactly a pillar, but what has helped us is because of the ACTC, the annual calendar of training and competition, and the NTPC CSR, we have been able to procure equipment in time. But the equipment is luckily we were able to procure in time, which is again not made in India. It's all imported. So that's another problem which we are facing. But then where the industry comes in. But the point is key, equipment is most of the sports are equipment-based sport. Like archery is an equipment-based sport, shooting is an equipment-based sport. So many of the things you require the right equipment to in order to enhance your performance. And that is where, while we had the equipment in time because of the fund availability, but then down the line, if you look at the grassroots level, it is lacking. So if you look at the entire, these were the 5 pillars with the sports, with the equipment being the 6th pillar. Now let's come to what happened at the Olympics. I want to tell you, see, when we look at Olympics, we have to understand one thing. We are starting very late. If you look at the world starts at 6 to 9 years. We are starting at 14 to 18 years. We are past that. You see, we need to understand and we need to learn from the education system of India. Our education system ensures that we are doing +2 before we can become an engineer, or even if we can apply for any graduation. So you need to do the +12. Similarly, in sports, you have to do the 10,000 hours of training, but the 10,000 hours of training, if it is happening at the age of 14 years and above, so by the time you finish it, you are trying to take on more training, more hours of training in order to complete the 10,000 hours training. But that is what is happening is then a wrong thing which gets built into the muscle memory, a wrong technique gets built into the muscle memory, is not able to take it out. For example, when I train Deepika, when I train Atanuzaz, when I train all the other Tarundeep Rai, or what is happening with them? They have been training, they have this 98% correct, but the 2% is they have a wrong thing in the technique. Now, what happens when we correct them in the national camp, when we take them to the Olympics, as long as they're participating in the World Cup, there's no pressure. Why there's no pressure? Because there's no media, there's no president, there's no Prime Minister of India coming in to help them or say. They go on the flight, nobody even comes to know, they win, they come back. When they go to the World Cup, there's no media frenzy there. There are no spectators there compared to Olympics. So what happens the moment we come to an Olympics? All these things come in. The spectators come in, the media comes in, the government comes in, the sending off comes in. Everything is a showbiz. So we need to understand, if we do it only after every 4 years, it will not happen. And therefore, the government did a very good thing of starting this Khelo India Youth Games, the Khelo India University Games, the Khelo India Games, where I think so a lot of industry people from sports industry came in, and our event management has gone one notch higher. So what has happened is now we are being more professional, and therefore these Khelo India Youth Games, where we are having spectators, where we are having the media, where we are having, therefore this is helping India to further our archers or any sports people to further get mature, psychologically more mature, so that they are able to compete better, create world records and perform better. So that's happening. But the missing link, again, I said is when I started doing a grassroots analysis, we found when I compared with all the top countries, the biggest lacuna was we were starting late. We were starting between 14 to 18. Some people started at 10 or 12, but rarely. Not at 10 and 12, what is happening is they're not getting the right education. Right education means the right technique, the right coaches. They're getting low standard coaches who obviously by the time they go to the top coaches when they're 18, they have already set the muscle memory is already taken in the wrong technique. And when pressure comes during the Olympic, they again go back to their comfortable stage in the muscle memory and they start doing the same small mistake. And that actually takes that 0.1% mistake happens and you miss out the medal. That is what is happening in India. And therefore, what I did next was, with my 42 years experience, now I've started working on a very new thing which I've started in India, and that is the School of Sports. You may have heard about sports school. You may have said, yes, I know sports school rise there. Yes, they are there, but they're all starting at a later age. We want to train children from 6 to 9 years, because 6 to 9 years is the formative year of a child. Whatever you teach between 6 to 9 remains throughout his life. The other thing is, in the 6 to 9 years, if you then bring in sports science at the age of 9 years, what is happening is whatever small mistakes that is getting generated at 6 to 9 years, you can correct it 9 years. And by the time he becomes 14, those corrections are made at 14, he's shooting perfectly. or whichever game is chosen. So what is important to India is, can we start schools of sports? Schools of sports means where you have, so I have started the first world archery school. There's no school in the world which is archery driven. So I have started the first world archery tour, and that too in a rural place of Kanoli and Devariya, which is a very rural sport, because we have to understand that 60% of the India lies in the rural. And that's what my one of the things I'll be talking to the industry people, all of you, will be that why are we missing out on the rural market? Rural market is a huge potential, because you're not targeting the rural, you're only targeting the urban rich, and therefore you're only hitting at 10% of the pie and you are happy with it. But why are you not hitting the 60% which is sitting in the rural, which can create, and that can not only create potential, it's a market potential existing there. The youth is there. They are same as an urban child. A child in an urban or a child in a rural is same. And in my presentation to the Honorable Sports Minister, I said the same thing. Sir, today, Prime Minister of India has bid for the 2036 Olympics. Today, the entire CI, everybody is now wanting that, yes, India is going to bid, we need to do. But today, we are on the level playing field. Now, what do I mean by a level playing field? By a level playing field means a boy, a person who's going to win in the 2036 Olympics is just between 6 to 9 years today in the entire world. And between 6 to 9 years, they are just going into a KG, upper KG or class 1. That means across the world, everybody, every child which is going into or who's going to win the Olympic medal is between 6 to 9, and they are only in upper KG, lower KG, class 1 and maximum class 2. Now, this is where the change comes in. If I'm able to target these people who are there, because everybody is going in Japan, Korea, Japan, all are entering the school. But in Japan, Korea and China, what is happening is at the 6 to 9 years, they start getting the right focus, the right impetus, the right coaching. And therefore, by the time the guy is 9 years old, he's already 6 years ahead, not 3 years, 6 years ahead than an Indian counterpart, because an Indian counterpart is still not playing, still not getting the right coaching. And by the time he gets the right coaching at 12 to 14 years, it's too late. They're already 6 years ahead. So this is my with folded head, I want to say, I'm setting up the scale. I went to the sport minister and told him, sir, go and see what I'm doing. Now, what I've done is, in the entire 12 years of education curriculum, I have added archery as one of the sport. That means while my student in class KG is studying, in the assembly, he's taught the basic 10 steps of archery. When a free period comes in, he's another taught. Again, he's doing 40 times, he's repeating the basic steps of archery. That means in a day, I'm making him do 50 times in the muscle memory at an age of 4.5 years to 5.5 years. I'm training his mind at 50 repetitions of the right sequence of steps, which over a period of 300 days gives me 15,000 times when a child is just 4.5 to 5.5 years old. By the time he goes in the upper KG, I'm switching him to the rubber drawing, so that now his body is flexible, but he has already learned the ABCD of archery. And when he now picks up the rubber, he does it flawlessly. And then I start training him on the rubber in upper KG. Class 1, he starts drawing the bow. Now, this is where the industry comes in. In India, nowhere in the India, we don't have sports good for this people, this segment of the child who is 6 to 9 years old. I got to go to a decathlon to buy a smaller football or this thing. So while I just heard Stag is doing a wonderful job, Shiv Naresh is doing the job. Can we do something for this 6 to 9 year category? Because that is where the Olympic medals are going to come in the next 12 years if you don't plan it now. So this is very, very important, that we need to understand that we have to get this and sporting goods at the 6 to 9 years. The sporting curriculum, education curriculum at 6 to 9. So I heard some of them from the education curriculum talking about, can we create a coaching system? And this is what we are calling the e-Khel Pathshala. While education coaching has gone a long way in terms of engineering, medical, why about sports coaching? Why can't we have e-Khel Pathshala? Can we take the knowledge of all the Olympians, Arjuna Awardees, Dronacharya Awardees, make a small film? And that's why I'll request CII, can we make a small film, that film of 5 minutes? We created this during the COVID, a 3-minute film. I created a 3-minute 12 films, which teaches you the ABCD of archery of the elite level. Can we do it? Can we mass produce it and send it to everybody in rural? Every child in India can he have an access? And through the CII, can he have an access? Because we are talking about digital India. We are talking about powering the rural. We are talking about rural empowerment. Then why can't we take a small 3-minute film to that rural child in every primary school of the country through the CII, through the partners? And because CII is everywhere. If we can do that, let me tell you, friends, we are going to change the history of India, the history of the youth of India, the culture of sporting, because that small film can educate him. So this is what I'm doing. So therefore, by the time he's coming in class 2, he's shooting arrows. I'm making it fun. During the recess time, they come and shoot arrows. During the free period, they come and shoot arrows. So what is happening is, in a day, they are now shooting 100 arrows. And that too, I'm talking about 6 to 9 years, boys and girls. And I want all of you to come and see what I'm doing. And I can challenge that in 10 years' time, I'll make India the powerhouse of archery. I'll beat all other countries, because that is the right way to go. I want to show you all how you can do it. And this is because of my learning of 42 years. I'm not saying we traveled around across the globe. We went to World Championship. We went to Olympics. We have learned what is happening in the world, and we are trying to incorporate it. My request to the CI will be, can we adopt sports? When we are looking at, so now I'm coming back to the industry. What can industry do? What can sports do? So one, as I said, a small film. Can STAG sponsor? They are into 60 countries. Can they sponsor? Can Shiv Naresh sponsor? They are into sporting apparel business. They are into the event management business. Can any of this company can come out and sponsor? And what will it cost? It will hardly cost you 2 to 3 lakhs to get a production house to make a film on all the games. But the film has to be made by the Olympians, by the Arjuna Awardees, by the Dronacharya Awardees. Please understand, the right message has to go in the film, so that the child sitting in a village across anywhere in India with the phone in his hand or in the phone, because this phone is now everywhere. Every household in India is having a phone. Can we create a smartphone, and can we make this film available? So that is one. The second thing which we are talking about is equipment. Most of the companies which are going to win Olympic medals are already manufacturing equipment. Whether it's China, Japan, Korea, USA, why not India? We talk about Make in India. You have to start. I'm not telling you to make the best of the both. No. So my request to Shiv Naresh, my request to STAG, my request to all my sports industry people is, I'm not looking at 100% scientific best in the class. No, I don't want that. What we want is, can we provide to 6 to 14 years children the basic equipment which doesn't require technology to that extent? We can produce in India, market in India. There's a rural population. Just to give you just staggering, there are 10 lakh primary schools in India. Whereas in Korea, there are only 40 schools doing archery. 40 schools. And you have 10 lakh schools. I am looking at not 10 lakh. I'm saying within the 10 lakh, can you bring it down to 10 schools per state? Can you make it 200? And then that is what we are looking at, that if you are able to, one game, take up 5 schools in each state. I'm not talking about, that means 100 schools. Every game in India which we are going to win a medal, can CIA, along with the National Federation, along with the partner, which could be a sporting partner, can they all combine? Can we take up 10 schools per game, take up the 10 sports discipline, and then you can create a masterpiece. This is what we are looking at. This is what is going to change India. This is what is going to change rural India. This is going to change the history of India. Because we want people like STAG, people like Shiv Naresh, people like all other people who are there. They should Costco and all. Can they make and can they provide? Now, this is where the partnership comes in. Partnership doesn't come in only money making. When you are manufacturing, you have to give. That is what I learned in Tata. You got to give part of your whatever you earn for CSR. That part of the CSR, STAG has to do, Shiv Naresh has to do, Costco has to do, any manufacturing industry has to do, that money of 2% of their CSR, can they go into the rural sports? Can they divide into a rural equipment manufacturing unit? Can they produce equipment which they can support the schools free of cost? Can CI partner? Therefore, you have a 3-member partnership, the National Federation, the CI on one hand, the Ministry of Sports on the other hand, and the partner which is making, for example, suppose, I'm just saying, 10 Ring Sports is making an archery equipment. The moment they give free archery equipment to these, out of the 2% CSR profit to the schools, primary schools, those 100 schools in India, what they get is, they get a market, because these people, when they use those small STAG equipment, archery equipment, or a Costco equipment, or a 10 Ring equipment, what is going to happen is, when they are using that equipment, so that will get branded. And then you have a rural population, the urban population coming, okay, if he can do so well with this rural equipment made by the Make in India concept, can it be, you have a whole vista opening up to you. 10 lakh schools opening up to you. If not 10 lakhs, at least even 1,000 schools opening up, there's a huge market potential. But you have to capture the market. Market capturing can only happen if you have to initially provide. So my only request is that is one area which we can look at. Sports apparels again. Can we brand if just like one, suppose if Stag says, okay, I'm going to make table tennis, and if he wants to make only table tennis across India, can he adopt those 100 schools in this thing? If Tendring Sports takes archery, can he adopt those 100 schools and say, okay, I'll give you a paddle, I'll give you this t-shirts. I'm not talking about very 100 rupees t-shirt, a 200 rupee tracksuit, small things. But today, let me tell you, friends, if I show you, I'm just opened this school in the rural. Some of these boys and girls don't even they cannot even buy a t-shirt or a tracksuit. And we are talking about Olympic medal. We can get that medal. We have to think about those people, those talented people who are there in these rural sports, who have the talent, but nobody looks at them. We heard Sachin. We're only talking about 18 and above. We have the Khelo India Youth Program. All these are only targeting the elite. What about the balance? You want to give us money when I win an Olympic medal, I win a national medal, but to win that national medal, who is going to support us? That is where I want CII to come. That is why I want the industry to come forward. No, they are not going to support, they are going to support people because these rural talent pipeline, if you are able to support, you have elite players already. Government is doing under Khelo India program, TOS program is there for the elite level. So that is already taken care of. I heard Vivekji's tell, why this 2%, why 90% going? Because we are not trying to, and therefore it's a very good point raised because you are having the draft sports policy coming in. Can CII put up to the draft policy to the government of India that, okay, this is what we are going to do for rural India? Because Khelo India, now they've moved into the other, which is known as the youth identification now. They've moved into the one rank lower, but there's nothing beyond that. So if we are able to attack the rural population, we are getting the rural primary schools, the secondary schools here, and can we put the 2% of the money, can it go to these schools and go to the sporting? So therefore, you not only have a healthy India, you have a very sporting India, and you have a very rich haul of medals in India. All three will happen. Your medical bills will come down because your people at the rural, people at the youth at the 6 to 9 years will start. Today, physical fitness has gone, friends. You go to the schools in urban, they don't have even a sporting ground. Sporting grounds are available in the rural India. They have enough space. The question is, where do you focus on? Are you looking at short-term goals and then only be happy with getting India with 144 crore population winning 6 medals? It's a pity. It's a pity. India cannot, with 140 crore population, India should be getting 140 medals. But why are we not getting it? Because you're not focusing on the right thing. You're focusing on those people who may win a medal, but those have already set in wrong muscle memory. They already don't know anything about sports science. They are not being trained. But if you are able to train the youngsters, which you are doing for your IT, you're going for your MBA, just take a learning from what's happening in your corporate world. You have the schools which train you for 12 years. The best team goes into the IT and they go into the best corporate. And today, the top multinationals are being headed by Indians. Why? Because your education system is throwing. If your education system can throw the CEOs of the world, why can't your education system throw the Olympic medalists? The only reason, because you do not have the infrastructure, you do not have the facility in the schools for which we are lacking. And if CII, as a very, very responsible confidential industry, my request to CII with folded hand will be, please do something about the youth of the India. That is what they like. They are waiting for people to come and help under the CSR program, but nobody is there to help them. That's the sad part. And that is where I feel a huge difference can be made by CII. So one, yes, we can do in apparels, we can do in equipment manufacturing, we can do in event management. With the Khelo India, Shiv Naresh has taken a notch higher. People are coming forward and you are getting the Khelo India. But then can it be taken down to the, as he said, to the national CSR can be done for the national, the junior national, the cadet national. Still in India, there's only one cadet national being held. Just imagine. I talked to you why we won 248 medals. We created 14 tournaments, but what 14 for the seniors? Why not 14 for the juniors? Why not 14 for the cadets? We need to create for under 12 years, under 10 years, under 9 years. That is the age group. Can we create, can CIS say, okay, I'm this industry, Tata is going to sponsor all these, this Reliance is going to do, this Ambani's are going to do, this Adani's are going to do. Why can't each of these sporting, these are top corporates can take up, they'll say all under 9 tournaments, we will sponsor. All under 12, we will sponsor. All under 10, we'll sponsor. That is the game. That is the game changer, friends. That is where the change is going to happen. Because if you, and why I'll tell you a very, very scientific reason. Madam and everybody knows what happens when a child studies in a class 1, 2, and 3. Every four months, there's a semester exams. And therefore, a child knows, the parent knows how my child is performing. And we know the report card at the end of the year. Why can't we have a report card for the sports? Why can't we have for the KG 6 to 9? He also plays into a game. There's a card which comes out. Okay, this is how his physical fitness is growing. This is how your performance is growing. Just take a cue from what's happening in your own child, in your own home. You are coming, you have a parent-teacher meeting, you go there, you get a fold of class 1, class 2, class 3. You get to know every semester how they're performing. But there's nothing for sports. So this is what the change can come. Can we develop a monitoring system? We have people in the sporting, I just found they're doing a lot of an education of sports. Can they help in creating just a planning for every school? That is the game changer. Can you create a plan, just like your marks you are giving? Can you create for the fiscal system? This is a 5-star program. If you can run 100 meters, within this time, he gets a double star or triple star. So that way we create a report card for. So this is a very simple thing I'm talking about, which any of these, our additional people in the sporting industry can do it. That is the game changer. We have to understand monitoring, evaluation, taking things at the lowest level, at the grassroots level, is only going to change the country. India has progressed. We are looking at Viksit Bharat after 100 years. But that Viksit Bharat will remain not Viksit Bharat till we do something for the rural people, the rural sports, the people between 6 to 14 years. That is what I want to do. And this I'm talking about because I have spent 42 years in archery. I know what I'm making a difference. And I want all of you, please, if you can take out just 1 hour of your time, all the sporting industry, come and see what I'm doing. And you will see how the change is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. If that can be replicated across the 5 crore thing which I've made for Government of India at Sai Sonepad, I have done it at only 50 lakh rupees in the rural school which I've made. I have just taken 4 classrooms apart and I've created a 80 by 25 feet, the first indoor high performance center in the entire world, which is going to be there in a school. In the entire world I'm talking about. Please come and see what I've done. That is what is going to change India. Can you, because now at the age of 9 years, I'm going to do his video analysis, and that video analysis will tell that boy or a girl, just like a cancer, I go and do an MRI, I do an ultrasound, I do an X-ray. I'm going to do a video analysis and tell him how his hand is moving, how his neck moving, how his biomechanics are changing. So if I can change and correct at the age of 8 to 9 years, by the time that boy or girl is 14, it's corrected. The cancer is gone. But can we take out that cancer? But that cancer can be taken out if the sporting industry, now this is the challenge I'm throwing to the sporting industry. I went to Germany. I went and bought a video analysis setup for 8 lakh rupees. Now, what was there? It was just a normal cameras. They have a software. They are ready. They said, okay, I'll give you the software. Computers we are making in India. We build the computer in India. We just get the 4 cameras, which are also available make in India. So therefore, I reduce the cost from 8 lakhs and make it to just 1.5 or 1 lakh rupees. Can it not be a seller? Cannot we give it to all the people, all the sporting federations? Okay, this is what CI has done. They have come up, they have partnered with their sporting industry. They have come, they created this video analysis thing, which can be given at a cost of 2 lakh rupees from 25% of what the imported cost. And can we give, I will help you to make that video analysis camera. Being an engineer, being an MBA, I know what to do. I just need somebody to partner with me and I'll create the same thing which we are selling to the world in 8 lakhs. We'll make it in 2 lakhs and flood the Indian market and then go and brand it across the world. Everything is possible. Indian technology is highly advanced. The question is, this is where I think so, Vivek ji, Kavita ji can make a big difference because, if we can put the technology The sports and today IT Madras is coming in. They are wanting to do something. They're moving to artificial intelligence. We heard about wearable thing. Because, the climate in India changes. If I can have a T-shirt which can keep me warm in winters and cold in summers, will it not be a game changer? We heard somebody talking about that they are making wearable, but today we don't even know such thing is existing in India. That means there's a market, but there's a person making it, but then people are not aware. The question is, this is where CI comes in with the marketing expertise, with the knowledge of the technical knowledge which they have from the various industries. Can they help and can we bridge? What are the gap areas which are there? These are what is going to change. So apparel industry can change, equipment which at the lowest cost we can provide, digital technology. Can we make coaching cheaper? Coaching more digital. Today, if Mr. Khan can teach 10,000 students at one go using digital, why can't a coach at Dronacharya Awardee teach 10,000 archers across the country in the same way? We can. But the point is there somebody going to help us? We all are there. So many Dronacharya Awardees are there, but there's nobody to take. And that knowledge is going with them, but that knowledge can be captured and kept. This is what CI can do. Can they partner with the federation, and they'll be very happy. I'll be very happy if you want to make a small film on archery. I will give the latest technique, what to be done, how to make it. It has to be created, maybe a 1 lakh or 2 lakh documentary. That is the biggest thing you can do. So, digital teaching, equipment, we talked about, apparels we talked about, coaching system, we said we can make it e-care Pathshala. So all of these and can make a difference. And this will raise employability. If we can create in the rural sports, we can grow in small scale industries, we can create a lot of MSMEs can be dealt and they can create this is possible. So somebody has to bridge the gap. We have the knowledge, we can give you the gap areas, the sporting industry, the CII, we together can come together and then approach SAI and us thinking, okay, this is how the technology is going to come. Because technology is not there in India. Technology in SAI is not there. Technology in the government ministry, nowhere it is there. Let us be very clear. There's no technology in any of the federations.
Sanjeeva ji, your passion comes through very clearly. In interest of time, we have to move forward. I think.
So I have already taken, I've spoken, I think given a lot of things. So I've opened the floor.
Now we know how the 208 medals and how the 101 gold medals came about. We can understand the source and the inspiration for that. I think you have been absolutely wonderful. I would request if anybody from our members would like to. I see Rakesh ji's hand up, the chairman of Stag International. Rakesh ji, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Sanjeeva, sir, hats off to you. You have spoken with such passion. I mean, we are very much obliged with the knowledge which you have shared with us. I mean, I would just like to inform you that we have been manufacturing archery equipment for almost 40 years now. And we need someone like you who can guide us as to do whatever technology upgradation which we can do. I mean, when we started with our table tennis tables, we had another Arjuna award winner, Mr. G. Jagannath, who guided us to produce some of the best tables in the world. So we would like to have your expertise and see to it that we can produce some of the best archery equipment in the world.
Sir, I'll be more than happy. Let me tell you, I'll be more than happy to help Stag, and I'll be more happy if Stag, after making that, gives that 2% to all the primary and schools, and we will market that all over the country.
Sir, please hear me out, sir. Sir, at Stag, it is not about what we can get from the sport. It is always what we can give to the sport. So I mean, money is never a consideration. It is only about how we can help archery grow. I mean, we would not even think about the profits. We would just think about what we can do for the sport. And you can depend on us. Whatever is required and whatever is within my capability and within my capacity, I'll definitely do it, sir.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Please
it has been a pleasure hearing you, sir.
Come over to Stag and I'll help you improve the entire line.
Sir.
No problem.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So we'll sit with you. We'll see how we can help the athletes. Whatever small steps we can take. I mean, it's not about money. It is about developing the sport. Yeah, so whatever we can do, we will do, sir.
Thank you, sir. So kind of you. I think the Mohanji is asking a question.
Mohanji, please go ahead. I see your hand raised. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Very, 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 very passionate. I mean, I was just thinking through those 5 pillars which you illustrated. So we started 4 years back with the very intent of impacting the children's sport, because there's nothing being done there. We don't have a sense of their fitness or assessment or even the health aspect of it. After 18, as you said, things move on and they get all the thing, but by then it's too late, right? So we started developing wearable tech for kids who can be assessed right from 4 or 5 years of age, like the one you talked about. If there's a 100-meter sprint, I mean, how good is he, and so on. So we have already piloted this. We have put it in few football academies. And we have also embedded this into what we call as a smart jersey. So it's an intersection of software, electronics, and textile. So all together, right? So we have been doing that. So we started with, to get the visibility, we started with CSK, IPL, and all that stuff. But now we have put it in JSW on top athletes, wrestlers, and so on, right? But our main focus is on putting it on kids. Like what you said, we have the technology with us. We have developed this in India. It's not something which we import and package it. So we are more than happy to partner with you. One specific point which I wanted to ask you, because you are the coach of Ms. Deepika Kumari. The past 2 Olympics, I've seen this heart rate thing coming on the TV, right? And you see the South Koreans, it's so stable. Whereas Deepika's in 2020, it was varying a lot. Last Olympics was much better. So are you using any technology now to do this biofeedback in real time?
See, this is what we have said. We have tried to get all the sports science equipment into the side. But as I said, before we were going for the Olympics, all the equipment could not come in time. So
right.
we were not able to use the biofeedback system while we had the video analysis system. But the biofeedback, which was very, very important, that was something which was missing out. And that's the reason we said, if we can get that in time before the 28, that'll be wonderful. So that is what we are looking at, is that now 28 and 32 and 36 are not far away. We have to get all the sports science gadgets into place, started being used by the coaches before we can deliver the results. Otherwise, it will not happen.
So I am happy to supply you, at least as a pilot, maybe 20 or 30 such jerseys. Even though we are a small startup, we have actually made a proposal to the ministry and so on. Hopefully that will come through. But in the meanwhile, we can always send this and you can try out the technology. If you're happy, we can partner for a larger.
Yeah, I think so. What is important, I think so, Kavitaji, Vivekji, what will be important is we have stars within the sporting industry. For example, archery, of course, I can help in all ways possible. For example, Pullela Gopichand is there in badminton, or maybe Kamlesh Mehta is there, Gagan Narang in shooting. So there are educated Olympians now, educated Arjuna and Dronacharya awardees who have a flair of how to go about winning the Olympic medal. My request will be CIA can step in and connect the top these Olympians, Arjuna, with the sporting industries. For example, for example, Stag, where we can tell them, and we can, because most of us are now running our own academy. So what can happen is those instruments or those variable things, we can use it, can show the difference what is going to happen. So you don't need to wait for anybody, because the moment all these Arjuna and Dronacharya will start talking about you, that okay, this wearable technology is making a difference, this equipment, local equipment being made by Stag, I've used it and I'm finding a good result, it's okay, we all can go. That itself is a word. So don't wait for the government to come in. You have to now move into with these academies, with the training centers, and those academies will become your brand ambassadors. And that is where I think so CI has done a wonderful job. Thanks to Kavitaji for calling me in. Similarly, I think so, I'm sure all the Dronacharya awardees will love to come in. Every sport can come in here and they can talk about their gap areas. The industry can then look at those gap areas, and then we can bridge the gap, and we all can be your market ambassadors. We can all, because all of us, see, for us sitting here, we all want India to win an Olympic medal. There, nobody has a difference. So if we have that thing which is common vision, I think so all of us can do wonders.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Sanjeeva ji. Thank you. And we will share your number with Rakesh ji, etc. We will. Thank you so much for your time, your passion. And yes, you're right. Indian sport is on the right trajectory, but yes, a lot more needs to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Vicky,
Singh.
and thank you, Kavita ji, for having called me. And I hope
Thank you.
with the support of CII, we can do wonders. I know we can
Yes,
do
please.
wonders, and I'm sure
And-
with the
and
Vivek
we
ji
need many,
the
many,
Kavita can happen.
and we need many more like Mr. Sanjeeva.
No
who can talk
problem,
with
sir. There
such
are many
passion and
more,
who can-
only they have to be given a chance to come and talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.